Hi everyone, it's the Elbis and Elbis World Class Podcast. I'm joining with Elbis,
Alright, pal.
and well, today it's a bit of a weird one, really.
It's not really an episode, is it? It's more of an update.
Well, yeah, I mean, usually we'd sit here and we'd say, oh, last time it was, episode 6 and that. Today, no, not really. We're not going to.
In some ways, this has been forced upon us because.
Well, it was like, I mean, we finished episode 6.
Quality.
I went away and that. Well, not like away. I just went back home, back to my house. And obviously there's been a few rumours.
There has been some
which we will address later on in this.
Well, I'd like to address the first of these rumours right now. And the first rumour, which I'd like to just, sort out, is that I saw Elbis has an infection. Now, what I'd like to say to the fans is that it's true, but it's that Elbis. It's not me. I'm clean as a whistle.
Yeah, thanks.
So,
it's...
You have had an infection, haven't you?
Well, I mean, obviously...
Again.
In this, current time...
There's no excuses.
I suppose, everyone's like, bloody COVID and that. Well, I went for a test today and it said, oh, God, you've got this COVID and that. I was like, what?
You've got to sort of... if you're a professional podcaster like this, you've just got to make sure that you look after yourself, really.
Well, I suppose.
And I mean, if anyone's worried, we don't know if you are, you're probably not. He's not going to die.
Probably will. They probably are.
I
mean, don't worry about it. Oh, I've done my isolation thing now. It's all over. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
That.
Until next time.
Yeah, I've survived. So, don't go on about it. In fact, and just my advice is don't go on about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, I'm sick of it.
That's cleared up now, much like the infection itself.
Well,
I suppose.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Anything good been going on your end?
Well, no, I mean, we're not really here for that anyway, are we? We're here to address, what people have been saying.
I just thought, I'd just ask, out of politeness.
No, not really. I don't think anything has been going on. Not. I mean, how long is it since we did one of these? Ages, isn't it?
Is it nearing a month? Over a month, is it?
Yeah.
Over a month now since we've finished season 1, and obviously, I'd like to say, it was a good, good reception. Actually, all round, I'd say it was a pretty good.
We always intended to sort of do a sort of review of our own best album,
like a season, an album review.
And I mean, I was well happy with it. I think 1 and 2 we was getting used to it. I think from episode 3 onwards just gets better and better, and it's absolutely world class. Now, the real fans will have noticed we've segmented some things off. We've got Sharkface in its entirety now.
And that's on the Elbis and Elbis YouTube channel. Yeah. So, just type into YouTube, Elbis and Elbis, World Class Podcast, what's going on.
We've hit 50 Twitter followers now.
50, I mean, that is pretty
So if you're not following, you really should be, because you're missing out on some quality content, polls and all that business.
Yeah, a couple of polls.
Yeah,
a couple of tweets.
That's been really good.
So,
but, there's been some comments. Yeah. We've got like 4 reviews or comments or whatever. So, how do you want to do this? Do you want to read them? Or
I think obviously, I think with the reviews. We're
the type of podcast where we will address comments head on. We don't shy away. We don't delete comments.
Listen. If I say to you, like, oh God, we're doing this episode, I always say in the episodes, don't I? Leave a comment, what did you think about this? What do you think about that?
Yeah.
And people go, oh God, Elbis won't ever address that.
Now, some of these comments have been sort of directly sent to us in various different forms. And, we thought it only best that we address them. So, I mean, I don't know. Do you want to address?
Well, I'll read them, and you sort of, maybe react to these comments. For the viewers, this is the first review.
Yeah.
Boring shit.
Well, what I would say to that is that I've always said this as well. The swearing or cursing is the language of the inarticulate.
I'd agree.
Or unarticulate, I don't know what it is. But it's, if you're going to be like that, then we're not taking any notice.
Well, what I'd say is, if it's boring, then what's not boring?
Well,
these are the type of the people who leave these comments are the type of people who, like, oh God, my favourite program's
We'll move on to the next one.
Keeping up with the
because I don't even want to respond to that.
I'm sick of it.
Using such profanity on our channel.
This is another comment.
Go on then.
I mean, I'm guessing it's sort of directed at you, Elbis.
If it's what I think it is, it was actually personally sent to me, which is pretty bad. Some people had said bullying, but not me, because I'm not.
I'm immune, so you're immune. I'm guessing just from
to bullying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Of course.
This is the second review.
Mm.
You're a loser, and you're dragging it. Sorry, I'll start again.
All right.
You're a loser, and you're dragging him down to your level.
Okay. Well, what I would say about that is, first of all, I'm not a loser. I'm a rock star.
Yeah, I agree.
And, we're probably about the same level, and if anything, I'm dragging you up.
If someone come to me and say, you're a loser, I'm not being funny. I've got 50 Twitter followers, right? I've got a bloody world-class podcast, right?
Yeah.
With 6 episodes, a completed album. A film script that's going to make millions.
Yeah.
Who's a loser?
Yeah.
God, you're a loser.
Exactly.
You're all losers, in my opinion.
Anymore?
Well, not all of you. You're all, subscribe.
Anymore?
Anyway, yeah, another review. Listen for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
No wonder you got no subscribers. But
don't even want subscribers, to be quite honest.
What?
Not even bothered about them. We've discussed this before.
We have.
The thing is, it's like the other week we got our first dislike. Now that was on episode 3. Did you? Yeah, you'll have picked up on that.
Did I pick up on that?
Now,
straight on it, mate.
I'll be honest. I got more of a buzz from getting a dislike on episode 3 than I got getting subscribers or out like that.
I didn't.
So what I would say to the audience is, dislike and unsubscribe. No, don't unsubscribe.
No, don't
keep subscribe.
Keep subscribe.
Yeah.
Just subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe,
yeah,
but dislike freely.
Just please.
Yeah, because if you unsubscribe, you won't get to dislike.
Yeah.
But please dislike this video.
If you want to dislike one of our videos,
we're not bothered. I mean, the fact is, you stir up emotions in people.
To me, it's like if you was to dislike one of our videos, it's like it's like if you wanted to walk outside with bright coloured clothes and like some clown shoes on, a red nose, and some makeup. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If people like to me, it's like if you've disliked our video, you're a clown, basically.
Yeah, basically.
You're basically a clown.
That's it, yeah.
I mean, it's like you're walking out in public and like just looking like an idiot.
Yeah.
Because if you dislike this quality, I mean,
most people that dislike this don't understand it. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Now we're not having a go at you. If you don't understand it, fair enough. People don't understand calculus.
You obviously haven't, been educated enough.
Don't slag us off. What's the next one?
This is the final quote. You're wasting your time and everyone else's.
Well, first of all, what I'd like to say to whoever it was that did that is if you're going to start putting stuff like that, then if you put it as a comment, leave us a link to your podcast because we'd like to listen to yours as well. And I mean, I'm certain that person who made that comment probably doesn't have one. Now, if it was Joe Rogan who left it and he said,
I'd still say you're a tithead.
Bloody shit. Well, I'd say I think your podcast's overrated, mate.
Yeah, well, I would.
So there you go.
Well, I'm not being funny. I did a Twitter poll.
Yeah.
To see what the
poll for me. Poll. I'd say, but
a Twitter poll.
Or poll.
Of just to see sort of what the fans think.
Yeah.
And I said about who is the better podcaster.
Yeah.
Elbis and Elbis or Joe Rogan. And most people voted who's Joe Rogan. So to me,
there you go,
he's got to work on his brand image there.
Yeah, he does.
Because Elbis and Elbis as a brand is obviously expanding. I mean, we've hit 50 followers.
I'd like to think that our fan base is more educated than Rogan's anyway. And so it's quite possible that somebody who listens to Joe Rogan, they think they're intelligent, they think they're listening to like cutting edge chat and that.
This Joe Rogan's real good about, he speaks about all this stuff.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah.
Does he talk about bloody, God, all the stuff we talk about?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Bloody,
all the interesting stuff.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Bloody done that.
So
anyway, that's the last quote.
That's the last quote.
Review.
And, we've addressed them head on, and I'm pleased with that.
And
so if you've got any quotes, then if you're slagging us off, put a link to your podcast, like I say. If you're going to say something nice, then you can do, but we don't even want it. Just dislike the video. That's all we're asking.
Now, I've always said, when people have talent, it's a good thing. But you will always have people who wish they was talented as well.
Exactly, yeah.
And to be quite honest, these people who are leaving these comments obviously aren't talented whatsoever. They've got no talent to have in this
Yeah.
world. They've
Yeah.
got no talent to share to the world, which is in contrast with me and Elbis, as we've got the podcast. And just, I think
The one
us
thing
as
talent
people,
does attract is jealousy.
It is, yeah. That is
Jealousy.
correct. It's correct. And to me, these comments are just a sign of jealousy because they are in our position here, talking to all the fans who love Elbis and Elbis.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, do it if you comment whatever you want. I ain't bothered because we've got a world class podcast in Yuan, and I know
it's almost like now
you could not do what we do.
I mean, this is probably quite a negative podcast. You might be thinking right now. And it's not really even a podcast. Yeah. It's just a short update. It's not. We're not cancelling.
Oh yeah, it's not an episode.
But it's not negative because we're going to move on to some positive stuff. Yeah, there is some positive stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, Elbis and Elbis are ambassadors of positive vibes. I'd say. Yeah. And the next positive, next, what we was going to address is I actually made my first TV interview.
Yes, I saw it. It was good.
Well, I didn't actually make the interview. I was the interviewee. Of the
BBC
interview.
had you on, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
We'll say a local regional news program.
Yeah.
And it was, first of all, I enjoyed it because you said about maybe 11 words.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And 7 of those was obviously. So that was quite good. That was good how you managed to do that.
Well, I've actually
Not
had
everyone
to change.
Can construct a sentence.
I've obviously had to change, a few of my, profiles on social media and stuff, just in case people didn't know what I was. Because after that appearance, it was quite obvious that I was a current affairs
it was interesting
analyst.
Because there was
an expert current affairs analyst, I'd say.
It's like they needed an expert opinion on infections.
Yeah.
And so it's a bit like when like with infections, you could speak to let's compare it to fish. Now, if you wanted to know about fish, you could get a marine biologist into the studio and talk about it. Well, now, we'd understand the theory of fish and all that. Or you could get a fisherman in. Now, a fisherman catches fish all the time, gets hands on with them and all that, knows how they feel. Yeah. Whereas, like, the BBC has a lot of virologists on. You're like a fisherman when it comes to infections.
Oh yeah,
I've been there.
I've bloody been there.
I've done my time. Infection of some sort.
Yeah, all the time.
So that was a good move by the BBC.
All the time.
And a bloody good interview.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Now, and I think, people like, some people have been saying, was it purposely done by the BBC to get me on?
Yeah, I think it was.
Well, let's just say I'm not sure, but if it was, fair play to them because they know. They
pretended it wasn't probably because they weren't giving it cash.
Well, yeah, God, bloody hell, yeah. So, they're probably thinking, he'll never know. But I knew straight away.
But it's nice to have an Elbis on. It's nice to have an Elbis on telly. I mean, I would never appear on telly. We've already discussed this anyway.
In the years to come, when
we're invited on Celebrity Squares.
And the Great Norton Show and Tipping Point and stuff like that. It'll probably just be me, just appearing on it, doing my bit for.
But you was on telly, and so well done.
Well, yeah, I was, and it was a good experience in a way, and it was all
And
right.
if the fans are thinking, hang on a minute, this is a way that we can find out his identity, then what I'll do is I'll give you the date because I think it was roughly around somewhere in the end of September. Just watch every regional news programme and look for an expert in infections that they have on, and you'll find Elbis.
That's me. So, that's me. That was me.
Yeah.
But,
so that's really good.
Yeah, that was good. Anyway, more positive news.
More positive news.
And just I bet the viewers are thinking, well, it can't get any more positive than that.
Yeah.
Wait till you hear about this.
Yeah.
Elbis and Elbis, world class merch.
We'll leave a link in the description if you're watching it on YouTube.
Bang.
Yeah.
Wow.
We will do that.
Wow.
Now, at the moment, as you're listening, as we're recording now, we have the women's collection that's being released. Now, it's perfectly in time for Christmas.
We do, yeah.
And the women's collection, what you've got to understand, whether you're a man or a woman listening to this, these are women's clothes designed by men for women.
Yep.
So, if you're a woman and you want something that a bloke will like you in, get these clothes.
It's the perfect present.
If you're a bloke who wants to see a woman in something nice, get these.
Get the present.
Stuff.
Get it. Because I'm not being funny or out. People, and I know, I've seen how it works. People will be like, oh, I don't know what to get me other half for Christmas.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't want to
care of that for you.
We've done it.
We've done it.
Literally, all you need to do is go to the Elbis and Elbis.
Well, we can't remember now, can we? But we'll put the link in the description.
I can't remember what it's called, but we'll put the link in the description. Just click on it. You'll go straight to the store.
Have a look.
You'll
love them. Whether you're a man or a woman, you'll love them. We've got a model. We've got a model who's modelling them for us and all that.
Yeah, she's loving it.
Yeah, she wants cheap. But, well, she didn't cost out because she wanted to model them.
Well, yeah.
She just loved them
So, in fact, I think actually, she just out of, she was obviously a fan.
Of course she was, yeah, she came to us.
Yeah, and, she was obviously willing to do it just basically because of who we are, really, wasn't it? But, she's modelling them and that, and, just go have a look.
Yeah, check them out.
They're at cheap prices. They're not expensive.
Yeah, they're good
compared to the designer brands.
Right now, we have the women's collection. We're working on the winter collection, the blokes collection, and the babies collection. Yeah. There might be some more out later on tonight.
There could be a holiday selection, but we're not sure about that.
Depends. If it's not good on telly, there probably won't be. If it's not on telly, we might.
Well, we might do. We might do.
So that's positive.
Last thing to address really is a thing that I know us have been getting. We have been getting a lot of comments and questions about. And that's basically the future of Elbis and Elbis. Where do we go from here?
People are like, oh God, when's the next award-winning album?
Well, it's like it's a bit like, when a band like, let's say, I don't know, Oasis bring out their first album, which was Definitely Maybe, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like people, listen to that and it was like, oh, this is unbelievable. I don't see how they can top this. Where can they go from there?
Yeah.
Well, it's like for us, it's like the first 6 episodes of the Elbis and Elbis World Class podcast. Was Definitely Maybe. Season 2, what's the story? Morning Glory. At the end of the day.
It's high pressure for us. A lot rests on the story, doesn't it? Because we like to.
Well, I mean, it's an important part of the poddy, and I think.
Because it's not something everybody can do.
Don't get me wrong.
We've got about 15 scripts that we could adapt. And we're working. I've got something in mind. I mean, I suppose if people, understand the relationship, and I suppose if you compare
it's like, what do you want? What do you want?
It's a bit like, I would say, and we discussed this before, but I would say it's a bit like Noel, as in, like, I do a lot of the writing.
Yeah.
And I'll hand you a cohesive yet slightly dull script.
Yeah.
And then you add the style to it.
Like the dialogue, the culture, and the sort of So I agree with that. Yeah.
I've got in my mind now the next script that we're gonna do. I'm not giving any spoilers for it.
No.
So
if you've come here for that, jog on. That's it.
Yeah, I would as well.
Get going.
But I mean,
subscribe.
If the comments are if the comments is fixed on YouTube and you want a story about something, then we've got some about time travel.
We'll cover all fields.
What else have we got? We've got ghosts.
Yeah,
Neda and that. So there's all sorts of stories.
We could go forever.
Yeah,
we could go forever.
So, she having a laugh.
Bloody hell, monkeys! How can we can't carry on?
Anyway, we're about ready to wrap up. Jesus Christ.
And by the way, if anyone's listening and thinking, oh God, bloody monkeys, she ain't got COVID. She ain't got COVID. Before anyone starts commenting and stuff, I know what these bloody fans are like. So,
I can't believe it. I told her not to come in.
Well,
anyway, we're about ready to wrap up, aren't we? Because it's only a short update.
Listen, we didn't want to keep people long.
No, we were just addressing the rumours. People have, maybe some of them have been slagging us off. There's other people who've said some nice things,
Oh yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. We was tweeting today, and we had a real nice reply on the tweet about the Jack the Ripper.
We did.
Solved, which is we've actually segmented. It's
probably not. No. But I mean,
we've segmented the Elvis, the Jack the Ripper evidence from episode 3.
Yeah.
And put it in its own video.
If you've got any
it's on the YouTube channel.
Wondering about, Jack the Ripper, who killed him, just share the video. There you go.
I think there's a lot of people who wants to know who Jack the Ripper is.
Well, of course there is.
And we know.
Yeah.
So if you want to find out, go to the YouTube channel, Elbis and Elbis World Class podcast. What's going on YouTube?
Yeah.
Subscribe. Check out the other stuff that's there.
Yeah.
And have a look.
Dislike. Don't forget to dislike. We want dislikes.
We do. But do subscribe though, because we want subscribers.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
But just dislike a few stuff if you want. But yeah, I mean, as far as everything we wanted to address,
that's the update done.
So yeah,
you know, it's the shortest video we've done. I mean, your review of Shutter Island was longer than this.
It was, and the rental.
Yeah,
but if you're gonna go,
anyway,
as I say, if you're gonna go into detail on a film, you need a 25-minute slot.
It's an update for the fans as to what's going on, where you can buy the merch, and I mean, you know, stop slagging us off, basically.
So everyone, well, we've been Elbis and Elbis, and you've been world class.
First one was better.
Unbelievable. Well.